Chapter 16, Staying Ignited. Awakening is one thing, staying awake is another. This chapter explores how to maintain clarity, purpose, and inner fire in a world constantly trying to exhaust, distract, and pull you back into unconscious patterns. Chapter 16, Staying Ignited. We've all been there, the only one at the dinner table talking about the FDA, the AMA, or the puppeteers behind the scenes, while everyone shifts uncomfortably in their seats. You see it in their eyes, the polite panic, the blank stares, the rush to change the subject. You're not being rude. You're refusing to swallow the script. Welcome to life outside the grid. You didn't come here to win popularity contests. You came here to wake up and maybe, just maybe, to rattle a few cages along the way. Here's the twist. Waking others up isn't about ranting louder. It's about embodying the frequency of truth so clearly, so unapologetically, that it becomes impossible to ignore. Let's lay down a few rebel ground rules for navigating the unawakened terrain without torching your relationships. Shine, don't shout. It's important to get something straight. You're not here to convert anyone. Evangelism arises from ego. Preaching your truth is the same, and both fall flat. What changes people is presence, your unshakable clarity, your refusal to live a lie, your quiet confidence in the face of mass illusion. It's maddening to watch people sleepwalk through life. It hurts when the people you love parrot propaganda like it's gospel. Now for the rebellious truth. It's not your job to rescue anyone. Your job is to stay ignited. Be the proof, be the pulse, be the walking contradiction to their programmed expectations. Live with so much coherence, so much radical authenticity, that your being speaks louder than any lecture could. Still, what about those rare moments, those cracks in the armor, when someone shows a flicker of curiosity? Maybe you're on a call or sitting next to someone on a plane and suddenly they ask. They lean in. The glaze in their eyes clears. That's your cue, but listen up. Don't dump the whole download. You're not here to override another's path. Sharing information, even when it's your lived truth, isn't about force. It's about offering perspective. When curiosity arises, something real might be found and give way to dialogue. The point isn't to convert, but to offer another lens, so that if someone wants to look deeper, the door is open. In other words, this isn't the time to go full Q drop or down the abortion rabbit hole. Drip the truth like nectar, just enough to spark something. Let them want more. Don't rob them of the dignity of discovering things for themselves. Yes, I've been burned, called crazy, mocked, dismissed. The funny thing is, though, most of what I said back then is coming true now. Those same people? Quiet, watching, recalculating. This is how it works. If you've been scorched, good. Welcome to the front lines. Staying ignited, number 1. Keep emotions out of it. Now for another hard-earned truth. The second you get emotional, you lose your power. This isn't about you being right. This is about truth breaking chains. The second you take things personally, you shrink into their game. The rebel doesn't play by those rules. Stay cool, stay sharp, and stay sovereign. You don't need everyone to agree. You just need to be the frequency. One grounded conversation can ripple across timelines. One spark, one heart. That's all it takes. Staying ignited, number 2. Back off from groupthink. You'll know it when you hear it. The lifeless repetition of media mantras, the smug recantation of listen to the science, the automated shutdown when things get uncomfortable. This is not them talking. This is their programming. Don't waste your breath arguing with a closed loop. If someone is running scripts, let them. It's not your job to override the code. Your job is to protect your energy and know when to disengage. Discernment is your greatest weapon. Staying ignited, number 3. Listen. This part's underrated. Actually listen. Not to agree, but to understand. Why? Because their resistance teaches you where the programming lives. Their arguments reveal the exact pressure points the system installed. When you listen without reacting, you learn how to address it. Also, listening shows strength. It builds trust. It sets you apart. When they talk, take mental notes. Not to win the debate, but to understand the war. Staying ignited number 4. Sidestep tricks. They will come at you, not out of malice, but because they don't know any better. The system trained them to do this. Emotional baiting, faulty logic, hearsay dressed up as fact, gaslighting, ridicule, and every psychological defense in the book may come out to play. Let them. You don't flinch. Don't stoop. Don't retaliate. Don't explain yourself to death. Just stand there, rooted, calm, wide awake. Make your presence the disruptor. You don't need to prove a damn thing. You're not auditioning. You're not defending. You're here to remind them, without saying a word, that there is another way. If you choose to speak, let it be simple, steady, and strong. I've done my own thinking. This isn't blind belief. It's the result of a lot of digging, a lot of sifting, and a lot of unlearning. I'm not here to convince you. However, if you ever want to talk about it, I'm open. Then step back, let the seed root. Let it be. Most of all, keep being who you are, loudly, quietly, unapologetically, authentically. Because sometimes the most radical thing you can do is simply not back down. Staying ignited, number 5. Purge your own limiting beliefs. Let's get brutally honest. How can you call out other people's programming, their blind spots, their refusal to see the truth, if you're still quietly shackled by your own? That's the unseen layer of rebellion. It's not just about exposing the lies outside of you. It's about hunting down the ones that still live inside. Limiting beliefs don't always scream. Sometimes they whisper, I can't do this. If I speak up, I'll lose everything. If I don't get my kid into the right school, their life will collapse. It's the domino delusion, the kind of fear programming that makes you plan your entire life around imagined disasters. That's not intelligence, it's indoctrination. We weren't meant to live in boxes. Those boxes, they're held shut by fear. One of the early truth tellers in this modern disclosure wave, David Icke, said it best. The opposite of fear is unconditional love. At first, that may sound vague. However, it's vibrational law. Fear is a low-dense frequency. Love, real, unconditional, frequency-splitting love, is the highest in the cosmos. The only thing that might rival it, authenticity. When these two meet, you become unstoppable. Those who've made contact with off-planet intelligences, yes, we're going there, report that these beings are fascinated by the human capacity to feel love. It's wild to them. We carry a frequency they don't fully understand. Now for the catch. High and low frequencies cannot coexist in the same body for long. One will dominate. One will dissolve the other. The question becomes, which are you choosing to run on? Staying ignited, number 6. Love yourself. Start here, not with loving the world, not with healing humanity, with loving yourself. Fiercely, unconditionally, without apologies. Because fear, at its core, is a side effect of disconnection from self. It's rooted in the most insidious belief of all, that you are not capable, not worthy, not enough, not divinely aligned and protected, that something out there has authority over you. Lies, all of it. You are a multidimensional being with the capacity to heal, lead, shift timelines, and reroute entire narratives. Until you remember that, you're easy prey. Now think about the rest of the low-vibe emotional soup. Hatred, rage, jealousy, resentment. These don't just poison the collective, they eat you from the inside. They break down your soul's immune system. They feed the parasitic matrix that survives off your pain. Want to stop feeding the dark? Start choosing love. Next time someone triggers you, picture them inside a giant, absurdly pink, fuzzy heart. Add unicorns, fluffy clouds, whatever works. Don't do it for them. Do it to reclaim your power. People are wounded. Most are walking around in pain they can't articulate. Maybe what they need most is someone who refuses to play the same old game. Maybe what they need is you, fully awake, radically clear, and not backing down from love. Staying ignited, number 7. Be aware of indoctrination. It's everywhere. In every ad, every school board meeting, every influencer post pretending to be authentic. Indoctrination is the air we've been breathing since birth. Now you know. You don't get to pretend you don't. You don't get to say, well, everyone else is doing it, and call that discernment. You don't get to shrug off your role in protecting your kids from toxic culture and then wonder why they're anxious, confused, or desperate for approval. Awareness is your weapon. Use it. Say no to the casual poison. Monitor what your kids consume, not from fear, but from leadership. Explain what's wrong, why it's wrong, and how to see through it. That builds trust. That builds discernment. That builds real connection. Let's try a real-world example. A father found out his 11-year-old daughter was reading a best-selling young adult series that ended with a teen pregnancy. She was on the final chapter when he stepped in and removed the book. She was furious until he explained why. He wasn't trying to control her. He was trying to protect her mind. He let her finish that last chapter. As for the next book, she'd wait a few years. She agreed. That's not prudishness, that's parenting. Kids, especially these old soul kids being born now, want that kind of clarity. They're relieved when someone draws a line and says, this isn't for you yet. At 10, 11, 12 years old, why should they be wrestling with adult-level themes like sex, trauma, and betrayal? Answer, they shouldn't. Full stop. They don't need a faster track to adulthood. They need protection. They need truth. Most of all, they need you to wake up to the culture they're being steeped in before it steals the best part of them. Instead, rebel. Say no. Set the boundaries. Be the adult they remember wasn't afraid to lead. Staying ignited, number 8. Embrace direct connection. This one's going to rattle a few cages, but we're not here to stay safe. If you've made it this far in the book, you've already unhooked from the comfort of the mainstream. Let's cut to it. Religion was designed to divide and disempower, period. We are not meant to be sinners groveling for forgiveness. We are meant to be directly connected to Source, not through intermediaries, not through guilt, and certainly not through fear. Look at history with clear eyes. Many of the greatest atrocities perpetrated on this planet were done in the name of religion. The Inquisition, the Crusades, St. Bartholomew's Day massacre, the Holocaust, the Armenian genocide, the Ottoman-Byzantine wars, the Serbo-Croatian exterminations. The list is long, and many chapters have been scrubbed from public knowledge. The truth echoes through the eons. The hands that preached peace often wielded the sword. This is not an attack on one religion. Christianity, Islam, Judaism, all have blood on their hands. The Ottoman Empire rivaled ancient Rome in its brutality. No doctrine is innocent when it becomes a weapon of control. The moment a faith appoints itself as gatekeeper to the highest planes, it becomes a cage. Let's face the truth. You don't need anyone to tell you how to find God. You don't need doctrines. You don't need rituals. You don't need a priest, a pastor, a rabbi, or a sheik. You don't need to kneel in public shame or confess your soul to a human dressed in sacred robes. Your soul is your business, your redemption, your healing, your truth. It's between you and Source. Would you hand your child over to strangers and let them raise them as they see fit? We've already done this in schools. Would you do the same with your spiritual essence? Religions, for all their community and ceremony, were engineered to suppress your power and insert a hierarchy between you and the Creator. You were never meant to be small. You were never meant to be obedient, caged, and ashamed. Thank you for listening to this excerpt.